Welcome to the Apocalypse Show. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Apocalypse of the Apocalypse Show. Anyways, I got an interesting podcast for you guys today regarding a lot of the most recent Spreaker drama. I have to say recent because this drama seems to always be here, and guess what? It's never going away, so you gotta deal with it as it comes. Anyways, a new issue about doxing has came up, as a lot of the Spreaker hosts have been kind of fighting with each other, warring, all that. Um, One of them, Guy Shea, has apparently called the FBI and has reported various hosts, supposedly, about the crime of doxing. Now, doxing, as you should know, is posting uh, someone's personal information on the internet, which is somewhat of a gray area of the law, and I'm not really too familiar with it. I have had it happen to me. I actually have had someone pizza bomb me before from one of these networks, and all I got was really shitty pizza and a bill that I had to pay, and I dealt with it, and that was it. I didn't run to the FBI. I kind of just took it and laughed it off because that's all that really happened to me. Anyways, Guy Shea called the FBI. And to be honest, it didn't have to come to this because Guy Shea put all his information out there on his Twitter, on his Facebook. He did not put it as private, or he didn't protect his accounts. He did nothing of that. So basically, he takes no responsibility for that information going out there. And apparently in one of these photos out there, it had an address number on it or something. And that got out. And some of these photos on Guy Shea's personal accounts revealed that he had a mixed breed grandson. And, if you know Guy Shea, you know that one of his big sticks is, being really racist and say nigger, 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 nigger. And so Goofy Bone caught on to that. And Goofy Bone's just been clowning this guy. And he's basically lost a lot of viewers, lost a lot of respect, and so I think he's come to a desperate situation to where, not only has he had to change his show around, this new DJ Bad Guy thing, but, I mean, his numbers are terrible. He's recently joined iHeartRadio because I don't think any of his followers really follow him anymore on Spreaker itself, so it's kind of a shitty situation. But to call the FBI when nothing's happened to him, at worst, I guess I've been told that Goofy Bone has not actually doxed Guy Shea, but I guess the worst that has happened was that someone did post Guy Shea's publicly available information on a comment on one of Goofy Bone's shows. Now, here's the thing. How is Goofy Bone really responsible for that? I mean, I have a few shows on here and people comment on there, and I just now noticed it the other day. And, how would, what are you supposed to do? Police your own wall? I mean, isn't there a report function if something like that happens? I mean, I'm sure if you wanted, you could get rid of that pretty easily. But no, he decided to go the bitch route and go to the FBI. So, nothing's happened to him, but he's going to go to the FBI. Now, again, the law is pretty gray area when it comes to doxing. From what I understand, the FBI doesn't give two shits if someone reposts publicly available information on someone, period. Because, I've worked at a bank before in the security department, and, banks get robbed, and FBI barely gives a shit about that. The first question, if you call the FBI about any of that, is that they want to know the amount, and half the time they don't even get back to you about bank robberies, and you're thinking that someone posted your name or photos, that you were dumb enough to put out there, and you have not yet to own up to any of that. There's zero responsibility by Guy Shea, and it just saddens me because he's egging on all these people, all these trolls. He keeps talking shit about them, keep talking shit about. he's putting his own family in harm by keeping on doing this shit. I mean, you'd think, okay, well, maybe I just leave them alone, let this die, but he doesn't want it to die. He likes this sort of eternal drama. So it's a terrible thing, I think, and it's not going to end. And me, I'm against doxing. I never do it. I want nothing to do with it. I think it kind of cheapens what you're doing if you dox someone. I think it's better to call someone an idiot or asshole or faggot before you sit there and post their information. Because I think the war with words is more important than, taking it to that level. That's just my opinion. So basically, that's what Guy Shea has done in that department. And, well, another thing is that Guy Shea has done some shows on Newsguy recently. One of them was, what's it called? Just Newsguy Busted. One of the questions he asked was, why did Newsguy flee to Iceland? Well, wife, jobs, opportunity. And just because you go to another country doesn't necessarily mean you renounce your citizenship. For all we know, Newsguy has dual citizenship. I mean, look, Iceland, that's like a magical place. I mean, shit. I mean, Newsguy, from what I understand, is from New York. I mean, he could either be living in some sort of small apartment in New York, which I think is a shithole, or you can go to Iceland where there's a whole bunch of Nordic babes, all these blonde women with nice breastises, and live out there and heck, hop on a plane and go to New York. I mean, how quick is that, So I would never ever criticize Newsguy for going to Iceland. I mean, obviously I'd like to go to Iceland. Shit. I mean, I'm stuck out here in Phoenix. This is a dump. I mean, it really is. And another thing that Guy Shea said was, if you are a friend of Newsguy, you are an agent of evil, and you are a carrier of death to the American way. I hope that's just, silly commentary. That's way extreme. A lot of this nonsense was him calling Newsguy a Jew. I don't think Newsguy is a Jew, but I think sometimes he rolls with it because it's just greater drama that way. Now the following are going to be 5 screenshots. I'm going to post at the information section on my show. Now the first screenshot is of Guy Shea calling Newsguy a cocksucker. So he tries to mix a lot of real life stuff. Sometimes he tries to play it as comedy, sometimes he cries. It's kind of hard to tell with this guy, but he's in his chat and calling Newsguy a cocksucker. So you can try to laugh it off all he wants, but obviously he's pissed. Second screenshot is Guy Shea. He's saying any friend of this evil Jew is also a cocksucker. So if you like Newsguy, then you're a cocksucker, apparently. Okay, and the third screenshot is... Now this third screenshot is Guy Shea basically being a hall monitor on people everywhere on Spreaker, depending on who they click. For instance, this guy named Chris Nelson, who I believe is a friend of a lot of different people. He has quite a few followers. He clicked like on Truth Talk Radio, which is basically Bathtub Girl's show on here. And so because he did the hideous crime of clicking like on one of her tracks, Guy Shea did a show on this guy trying to expose him, for being a Jesus freak or something like that. So Guy Shea, not only is snitching to the FBI about stupid shit, he's now watching everybody, making sure they don't click like on the wrong shows. I mean, this is just out of control. I mean, this guy's going way too far. Too much time on his hands. Fourth screenshot. Now this is from a show that Guy Shea deleted. Okay? And this show called like The New Black Hand, he deleted the show because it was up for 13 hours and it only got 32 listeners. And you know, Guy Shea, he really likes to talk about numbers to other people. Like, that's how they make their show. But for some reason, he's not able to make the listenership go up for his own show. So, I mean, now this fifth screenshot here is Guy Shea just reminding people not to be racist because they're on iHeart, which is pretty ironic because Guy Shea does the most racist shit on Spreaker, period. And this is just him trying to harass and intimidate people because they did a joke that hurt his feelings. And for the last bit about Guy Shea, I'm going to include at the bottom of the show a link to a show that Guy Shea did that he deleted. It's the show that he only got 32 listens, and he has over 1,000 followers, and talks about the numbers everywhere, how important they are, and all that. So listen to this show. He says a lot of damning shit, so it's a good reason to delete a show like that. Anyways, a particular segment in the show around the 11-minute mark, he was basically congratulating himself on iHeart, which, congratulations to me. I mean, what the fuck? Anyways, what really bugged me about this 11-minute marker was he wants people to contact iHeartRadio to get Newsguy kicked off, and he's trying to point out what Newsguy did on Spreaker, and that they're going to take off his shows and all this and all that. He's trying to intimidate Newsguy. And anyone that does this is a piece of shit because, that's just horrific, Anyways, what was Newsguy's crime? Oh, let's hear it, everybody. Oh, that's right. Newsguy's crime was having Goofy Bone on his show. And the second crime was disagreeing with Guy Shea about, the doxing and how all these people are going to go to jail because he says so. And so this is what this guy has resorted to. He's gone to these depths to get people kicked off. He's policing everybody. I mean, he's just turned really pathetic. And no one has called him out on it hardly. None of his friends say shit to him. They keep encouraging this behavior. But guess what? He's on iHeartRadio now. Guess who else is on iHeartRadio? Deshaun Porter. Enough said on that. Okay. So go ahead and listen to his show that he deleted. It's on the bottom of mine. So my next segment will be more dedicated towards Debi Daly. And anyways, it's no secret that Debi and Guy Shea are friends. And this poses some problems to someone like Newsguy who hates Guy Shea but likes Debi Daly. But it's somewhat even because, Newsguy likes Goofy Bone, but Goofy Bone hates Debi. So when it comes to friends fighting, if anyone ever says, hey, don't be their friend, you just tell them to shut up or something, You do not dictate to other people who can be your friends or who can't be. I mean, one of the things you can do is defend yourself and, avoid situations that put you in trouble. Either way, here's the situation. Okay, so a lot of these shows that Guy Shea does live, you'll see Debi in there. Now, that's not a big problem, but apparently one of the shows I wasn't at, I don't have any screenshots, but someone told me, and this person that told me wants to remain anonymous because they're friends with Debi, but they said that she was talking shit about Newsguy. And, I wish they would have taken screenshots because now it's might as well be written off as bullshit. That's the way I see it. But, yeah, so I guess Newsguy found out that Debi was talking shit about Newsguy in one of Guy Shea's chats. So it's like, I guess he's kind of pissed because of the fact that when Goofy Bone has been on Newsguy's show, guess what? Newsguy has defended her. Okay? Every time that Goofy Bone has come on and Goofy Bone has talked shit about Debi, he's always defended her. And when Newsguy had Angela Truth, also known as Bathtub Girl, on the show, he defended Debi heavily. Heavily. But then I guess Newsguy at this moment feels betrayed in some fashion because of how all that basically transpired. You'd probably get mad too if you defended a lot of people or you defended someone and then you caught them talking shit about you. So that's up to Debi to clear that at this point. And if she does, she does. Otherwise, the rumor about the door of revolving. And, if you want Newsguy to be a casualty of that, that's fine. But, he's a pretty good ally to have, especially considering the great lengths Newsguy has gone to defend Debi. I mean, yeah, sure, he's had people on you didn't like, but, no one really cares about that, right? Anyways, there's another thing I want to talk to you guys about, and it's gotten to the point of just stupidity and just... It's the numbers game, people. I mean, you guys should really stop talking about the numbers. I mean, are any of you guys humble? I mean, I know a lot of you guys are Christians, so I want to read you guys a Bible quote. Or maybe I'll read two. Okay. Being humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you. That is 1 Peter 5:6. Okay? If you don't like that quote, if you didn't quite understand it, let's read another one. Okay? James 4:6. But he gives more grace. Therefore, it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So you guys stop bragging about your numbers. I mean, they come and go, and none of y'all are making any money. So, we're all kind of in this incestuous circle together, whether we like to admit it or not, whether any of us, pretend we're going to be big time just a year away. I mean, a lot of you guys have been doing radio for years and years, yet you're still essentially at the same spot you were when you first started. Some of you guys were even bigger back then. And, you're here for our entertainment, the listener. I don't really consider myself a podcaster. I'm mostly a chat room warrior, I guess you'd call me. But I have to do these shows once in a while, And another person who has been mentioned a lot on various shows lately is Adam Carolla. Now, Adam Carolla, I used to prank call his show he used to have called Loveline. When him and Dr. Drew were on it back in the day when I was 15, I used to always prank call that. And most of the time my calls did not get through. So I only was able to prank call that show twice. And they usually caught on because I was only 15 and retarded. But anyways, Adam Carolla. Now, he doesn't sit around and talk about his numbers, does he? No. See, he has sponsors. And he doesn't go to levels a lot of the people around here do. But you can't have a Adam Carolla level show if you're slumming around and doing nothing but drama with the same people every day, every night. I mean, you have to have content that people want to hear. Okay? So it's not just, okay, I'm doing the same shit I've done the last 3 years. I'm going to start getting sponsored and I'm going to be big time. That's not how it works. See, if you go to Adam Carolla's website, I mean, it's awesome. He has so many people underneath him too, like Allison Rosen. He has another show called The Carcast, which, if you like cars and stuff, it's also really good. And basically, he started with a podcast, and it eventually grew to his own website. And same thing with other podcasters out there. There's probably 5 or 6 other ones that make a lot of money doing just podcasting. But he's top of the line because when he was at Loveline from 1995 to I think 2005, that was the golden age of Loveline, because him and Dr. Drew had some natural chemistry that really clicked. So if you're serious about being a real podcaster or radio person, you want to make money, you got to get on that level. You can't do it at this level where you're slumming and fighting, same shit over and over and over. I mean, go ahead. I mean, you know what the response will be. So I just wanted to point that out. And I do listen to Adam Carolla's podcast every day, along with Joe Rogan's. But Joe Rogan, he has a lot of quacks on his show. So certain shows I'll give it a try, and if they're really quacky, I kind of turn that shit off. I'm not big into the whole shrooms and all that shit, so Adam Carolla's top of the line. You can learn a lot from his shows. You're not gonna copy his shit, because he's one of the few people on the radio that can sit there and talk for hours, and without playing a music clip, without anything, he's just top of the line, and he's that for a reason. He's making $800,000 a year just doing his podcast. And that's through the sponsorships he does live, and he also does stand-ups. I saw him back at Tempe, the improv place, and I think I paid $35, and I saw him, and it was a great show. And Adam Carolla does tour around America, so if you have a chance, go see him. You can learn a lot. And anyways, this is the end of my podcast. I hope it's been somewhat educational.